What is up, guys? Sente here. Game number 6, I think. Yes. Yes, I think this is number 6. And it's actually, this lesson is incredibly important, and I'm really glad I had it defined for me so clearly. I think it happens to a lot of people. It happens to me. It was never so clear as this example I'm about to show you right now. So, I played white. This video is all about how to weather the storm of an attack. As we know, the Go board is very dynamic. The stones can move, they can run, they can attack, they can solidify, defend, invade. They can, for some reason, even though they can't move, the groups and the shapes that they make have many dynamic patterns. So I played white in this game. Dual 4/4s. He is extending high, which tells me he is threatening to develop. He wants to develop this side of the board. Now, we know, or I knew from direction of play, that you either want to approach the corner or just simply split if you want to play peacefully and simply. So I decided to choose B. It's a reasonable choice. If A is better than B, it's by not that many points to make a difference, especially to a low Don player or a low Q player, or especially anybody weaker than that, like double digit Q. So either of those options are fine. I decided to pick B. He extends large, so I choose space extend and get a base. This is very reasonable, and I knew he would do something like this. Now he starts to attack. And psychologically, if anybody says that Go is not a psychological game, they're completely lying. You can know all the theory in the world, but if under the stress of a game, your brain goes to unhealthy places and you don't react correctly to moves, it doesn't matter how much technical knowledge you know, you're going to have errors creep into your game. And on this attack, I immediately felt very stressed. I felt very tense. It's like, oh God, did I make a mistake? I knew I didn't make a mistake. It's 4 moves into the game. I made a 2-space extension. This isn't a problem. But I decide to solidify, and he's doing the sequence that we all know and love. Now, at this point, I was getting very kind of agitated, figuring that, why is he attacking this now? Shouldn't he be playing somewhere else on the board? I felt very pressured, right? We all know the normal thing to do is to make the bulge, because what this does is when black goes here and white connects, this creates 2 cutting points. A and B. And they're kind of me-I. If black fills in one, white can take the other, or in this case, Atari. And now that's out, and that has severely hurt this stone, so black does not want to do that. If black defends the original cutting point, that would have hurt this stone and connects on up. White gets a chance to play here. Once black protects this stone, white can create an I. Now white is not surrounded. White is alive, and white can focus on getting on with the rest of the game. And this is, for the most part, an even result. It doesn't feel like it's an even result, because black does have thickness here, but there are ways for white to equalize if white gets a corner enclosure here. White's also aiming to play here in the area later, crunch black's corner in. Now that white has thickness out here, it's not... black can't build as much on the top. So this isn't a bad result for white. But psychologically, submitting to this attack and playing out what was normal felt unbearable to me, because it just did not feel strong enough psychologically. So I didn't play this. I played this, which isn't something I read out completely, and it's very directly trying to not get surrounded. Rather than making the shape move that I know was the correct way to do things. Black just connects, and I have to try to protect this cut, right? So I play here. Black threatens to cut through. That's a forcing move, so I have to connect. Black turns, and I make the last mistake of the game. This was already not a great result. What I needed to do was I needed to leave, because not getting surrounded is the most important thing for this group right now. If this group gets surrounded, black's thickness that he's making is going to be way too difficult to deal with. But I was very small-sighted and just wanted to try to live and get on with my life. So I played here, and he did not let my group go until this point. And from here, black made his developing move, and now he's got a huge amount of thickness and a very scary kind of beginnings of a moyo here. I tried to make an enclosure, prepping to maybe invade, or at least keep him from expanding the bottom. But again, I missed the crucial move of not being surrounded. I needed to play this at some point, preferably like 3 moves ago. I did not. And because I didn't, now I'm in this insane fight. And I've got a weak group here. Black's thickness, he's going to make so many points from this fight. This group is making like 6 points. It's not even doing anything. My position very quickly collapsed into nothingness, and I lost the game shortly after because I lost my composure during an attack. And I could not weather the storm. I did not brace myself correctly. I did not remain calm and stay strong. I decided to play something that wasn't really thought out, wasn't really read out, and neglected the very basic fundamental rule of this shape, where I create the 2 cutting points and take whichever one black doesn't want. So my advice and what I'm taking away from this game is that if you play a move with a certain strategy, like I want to split black here, develop a group that is not surrounded, and that's my strategy to keep black from building the right-hand side. If you have that goal in mind, which was what I had here, this was not unexpected, then don't lose your composure when your opponent tries to attack you. If you have a goal and a way you want to use your stones, and your opponent tries to test your goal and to attack you, you need to be strong enough in your conviction and strong enough in your vision to weather the storm and be confident in playing the normal moves that you know are correct, even if you can't see a clear way that you will develop a winning position from that. Even is fine. We can't forget that white has Comey here, right? So even if white's position doesn't look as great, white has 7.5 points to start. 7.5 points ahead of black. So it's not a big deal to not be controlling the entire board from the first, 10 moves. If this was a strategy that I said I'm okay with and I was okay with doing, then there's no reason I should break and crumble under the pressure and decide to play this random move that I've never played before that I know is not the correct way to play in this shape because I'm nervous, right? So this is kind of a psychological strategy video, and this can come up so many times. You can have a good position, but if someone tries to test you or attack you, you crumble under the pressure, right? Like a house of cards. You need to be confident in your strategy, confident in your vision, and stay strong in the face of an attack so you can get your opportunity the next time, grab Sente, and restore balance in the game. And then wait for your opponent to crumble under the pressure instead of you. So this was a really sort of eye-opening thing because it's a very, very simple attack, and this really was very early on in the game. But playing the shape move, you can learn about the shape and how it's not really great because black gets a lot of great forcing moves from this area, right? But even more so than that, you need to be strong and you need to make sure that you can weather the storm. So that was a very, very interesting psychological lesson that I learned. And I will definitely keep that in mind going forward, because at least if you follow a consistent strategy and you don't freak out, then you can learn what strategies work and what strategies don't. If you freak out, you haven't really learned if that strategy is actually a winner or not. You just didn't carry through the experiment because you freaked out, right? So don't freak out. Don't crack under the pressure. If you have a vision, stick with it, stay strong, and don't let your opponent's attacks break you. Sound good? I'll see you guys next time.